Start with fire, add oil, let it simmer. From the crew at 58 Surf and Stab, this isn't just a podcast, it's a sensory experience. Fresh from the coast, full of flavor, and prepared to perfection. Well, kinda. This is 58 Surf and Turf. Let's get cooked. 58 Surf and Turf. I am here with the anchor, Paul Evans. What's your title?
Talent, mate.
Okay, talent of, what are you talented at?
Full stop. Talent.
Just that's it?
Yeah.
All right. At surfing? At talking about surfing?
Surf adjacent. Yeah, my talents, I would say, are adjacent, sometimes perpendicular. Yeah.
Okay.
To surfing.
Well, you're here now talking a lot on a broadcast.
Yep.
The one that the World Surf League does.
Yep.
From Peniche. Want to give us a spiel? What would you say right now if you're introducing the call for the day?
Do you know what? It's actually looking a lot better, I would say, in a slightly propaganda-y type of theme. The wind's dropping. I think it's going to be, I can't wait for this next matchup.
Okay.
This is going to be a really fun heat.
Would you throw it to Jesse for the call or Renato?
No, they normally do it with surfers more now. I think they've seen enough of Renato's sort of grizzled head. So
it's been over.
Yeah, normally they try and get
a few decades of that.
They try and get the other talent. Some people call them the professional surfers.
Okay.
They use them.
Yeah. How do you get a job surf commentating?
I used to work in surf magazines.
Okay.
And when the webcast thing started, I think they, like, magazine-y people were they thought you could possibly maybe string a sentence together. And basically there was no one else around. It was literally just me. So yeah, I got the gig. So,
do you remember your first one?
Yep.
What was it?
It was the Rip Curl event in Senos in August. It used to be a big qualifying event.
Oh,
so
wow.
That was in 2005.
In August?
Yeah, 2005. The waves were pumping. I think Adriana de Souza won.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember it well.
Who were you commentating with?
Mainly like Rip Curl people, but we used to have a little Nokia and people could text in and just say, "You guys are fucking shit." And like, it was really funny. So people would just abuse us, go, "Boo," and there'd just be insults coming in from Australia. So actually, I worked with a guy called Archie, a French guy. He got most of the abuse. Every time he scratch his balls, and people would go, "Mate, the whole world just saw you shuffle the pack," and just stuff like that. He was just getting hammered.
Wow.
So it was a lot of fun. I also, someone was messaging in and I did a bad thing, and I kind of took piss out of him a little bit, or I tried to be a bit snarky with a few, made my replies on air, and it turned out to be Rabbit Bartholomew. No
way.
So my first gig involved me insulting a legend of the sport and the boss of the ASP, which is cool.
Wow. Did he?
Somehow I'm still here.
Did you hear about that?
No, he was fine.
No.
He's cool.
How did you find that out then?
I just worked it out. I think on his name he put Warren. And I was like, "Well, yeah, whatever, Warren," and stuff like that. Been really cheeky. Literally my first ever gig. Yeah, he's like the Lord of Lords.
Okay.
Yeah, I fucked up, but he was cool. He was totally fine.
Day one on the job, you offend Rabbit, and now you're commentating CT events.
Basically, yeah.
How did that work out?
I don't know, mate. Imagine how short they must be as staff. I'm still here.
Wow. Do you enjoy it? Is it fun?
Yeah, it's fun. Some are more fun than others. Obviously, it's easy when the waves are good. We're all we're all amazing. Yeah. When it's shit, it can be a bit tougher. But yeah, it's a good job. I mean, no one's holding a gun to my head. Yeah, so it's pretty good. There's it's sort of the bigger the events are, the more like a vacation it is.
Really? And
if you've done the QS in Europe, which is pretty punishing, a lot of the events, you can do anything, like anything. Yeah. So these type of events aren't as grueling as other people might experience them, because compared to doing Pantin till fucking 11 at night with 4 fog holds, this is pretty easy.
Wow.
Can I swear? Yes. Okay.
Of course you can.
There we go. Yeah.
I've actually had the experience of commentating a few times. You've actually You've actually recommended me in that role. I appreciate that.
I listened to you a little bit. I turned it on, listened for a bit, and went, I think I'm all right. No real threat there.
Yeah.
He's fine.
I'll get there. I'll get there. But I did have the experience of, this is, I think, before I even met you. I did one in 2015 where it was a women's QS event in Cabo. And there's no waves.
Dude, we're going to Cabo.
I understand what you mean about how difficult it can be to fill that space.
Yeah.
It's hard, huh?
No waves is actually better than not many waves every now and again. None at all is better.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you think is the worst one you've had that you've commentated? Have you been to like proper flat, like, was there a year in Italy or something where there's a longboard championship?
Yep. I was there. Yeah. We didn't even do the broadcast. When it's completely flat, sometimes they call it off and you still get paid. So
wow,
I'm into that. Yeah. I did a women's CT in Biarritz that I didn't even drive down.
You got the full check.
I didn't get the full check. I didn't even drive down to Biarritz. I just stayed where I live up the road a bit and still got paid.
That's not too bad.
You'll take it. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, no, it's a fun job. Yeah, surfing's fun and bit of travel. It's good when you get to do an event at home. I think they cancelled just when I qualified for the CT is when they cancelled the one that's in the town where I live, which is awesome.
That is pretty funny, yeah.
But maybe it'll come back one day.
Maybe it would. I mean, that would be a big homecoming for you as somebody who offended one of the...
Well, maybe then someone will go through my historic tweets and I'll get cancelled just when it comes back the week before. That'd be a nice narrative arc.
That would be. Yeah. That would be. I think that's fitting. So I don't know how it'll fit into the new WSL calendar, but there's hope for you.
Yep. I think it'll be back at some stage.
Okay.
Yeah. Before you and I retire, I think France will be back.
Yeah, I think it would feel right. When you're not talking about surfing,
yep,
I would imagine it consumes, your day-to-day life too. You probably can't get enough, but
yeah,
you also write about it.
Yep,
Can you tell us a bit about your career?
Yeah, I would say very much on the wane.
On the wane?
Yeah.
Really?
I'm on the downs. Yeah, I'm on the down.
All right, then let's start with the waxing side then. Tell us about the early days.
Okay, the waxing side. I just lied and said I was a surf journalist when I moved to Hossegor. I moved there 2003. I told like 3 people I'm a surf writer, and then they introduced me.
You had nothing published at that time. You just
not in surfing. I did have a job in print media in the UK, working for like a music and kind of scene magazine.
Okay.
Before I left, so I was sort of confident, but I just lied and said I'm a surf writer, and then it's just like someone told someone else, and then people introduced me, going, "Yeah, this is Paul. He's a surf writer." And then. Yeah.
And then you actually started just getting work just by saying it?
I met a guy who was like a producer in making like movies and stuff, or DVDs at the time. And
Daz?
No, not him. Another guy, Greg. And he was doing trips, and I went along and I wrote a story for a magazine. And then the guy that was doing worked at Surf Europe, was quite a big magazine in like 5 languages in Europe, that publishes in London. He left, was over it, and he gave me his job. He just literally handed it to me after I'd been in town for not that long. So
like, how long was it between when you just made up that you were a surf journalist to when you were an editor-in-chief maybe at...
This is going to make you laugh, actually, but before when I made up that I was a surf journalist, I got a job and worked. My friend was like into like he was an Australian guy, sort of a loose cannon, but he was like a carpenter, a builder, and the crew from Australian crew that lived in Hossegor used to get the gig to do Quicksilver board riders, fit the store out. And there was one in Ericeira in that weird little square. It's not there anymore. I think it's a little supermarket now. These guys, I'm sure, will remember it. I came down here in a van from France with tools and like Australians and fun stuff. And we like stayed up all night and did that. It was quite well paid, good money, and we stayed. Where there's a little boat. Yeah, it's not great for this medium, but yeah, near here we stayed down by the sea in those little bungalows. I'm trying to describe where it is, but yeah, just down there.
Okay.
Did that for a bit. So sorry. Anyway, 6 months it was, I would say, something like that. And I went. I went to Russia with Tom Curran. That was like one of my first ever.
So you went
gigs.
from lying about it to just being in Russia.
And that was in Surfer magazine. They did a big feature. I was always quite a big fan of that when I was a kid. I used to like read a lot of surfer bags. Yeah. So
I get the call up for them though. Like if you were just doing Surf Europe, how did all of a
sudden?
No,
I wasn't in Surf Europe then. I hadn't even started that yet. I got the Surf Europe job because I went on that trip and our flights through Moscow, but through London. And this guy tried to hand me the job. I started to go for an interview in London, and I just sort of sauntered into the office and just went, whatever. Just what's this about? I just got back from Russia with my mate Tom Curran. Sorry. I'd like to help you guys if I can. And I just gave it the full swag and I got the job. But I also think it was between me and one of the Georges. It might have been Matt George.
Oh, really?
I don't know which one. And he asked for like, yeah, man, I just want 150K or something. He wanted like quite a lot of money. And I just said, I'll do it for literally anything. So they gave me the
Good way to get a job.
They gave me the job. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Wow. But
Yeah.
wait, so the DVD guy or the guy that's producing stuff hooked up the Tom Curran trip.
Yeah, exactly. He
Okay.
did that with Rip Curl. They gave him some money to go and do a search trip. It was with Tom Curran and Brian Toth. So quite different ends of this sort of surf spectrum in lots of ways.
Yeah.
And Ted Grambo was a photographer. There was a bunch of French guys filming like 16mm film and like, you know, good dudes are like pretty good at their job. And
Yeah.
we had helicopters and all that sort of stuff. It was pretty sick.
Wow.
Camping, bears, shotguns,
The whole thing.
all sorts of
The whole
stuff.
Russia thing.
Yeah. Yep.
Tell me about some of this early writing though. I don't know.
Right.
I mean, I assumed you kind of had a background like that, but I want to
Yeah.
hear like, give me an example of something you wrote for this Scene
Yeah. Okay.
magazine.
Well, I wrote the whole thing because I got the job as the editor. It was my first ever job in any form of like media at all. Before that, I owned a bar. So
You own a bar.
yeah, so me and my friend, we bought like a cafe, like the first kind of cool, sort of slightly bohemian cafe bar in Plymouth, the city where we lived and where we went to university, and it was called the Caffeine Club. And like Plymouth's quite rough city.
Mhm.
The student thing's really changed it, but it's pretty rough. And this guy got a beautiful building and started doing like good coffee and blah blah. And then he got a pub license, so it was open in the evening. It was kind of a bit of a scene.
Uh-huh.
And then like, you know, they used to have DJs on the countertop, and it's a really small place. It's pretty sick. And I was supposed to be doing a PhD at the uni. So I went traveling for a year after I finished uni, went to Australia and Indo, blah, blah. I came back and I was supposed to be doing a PhD with a friend who was already a lecturer at Plymouth Uni. And he said, he's Scottish. He went, oh, the license is up at the Caffeine Club. So I was like, I was just walking out of his office on my way home. It was on my way. And I stopped in. I sort of knew the guy a little bit. He's a bit of a dick. But anyway, I kind of knew him a bit and started from there. And we bought the lease for 9 years.
Damn.
Voila. And then so I started doing that as a job, and we had some guys that DJ'd in. There's 3 DJs. They used to play 3 records each and then change.
Yeah.
And one of them was the editor of this Scene mag, and he was over it and said, I'm leaving. Do you want the job? And I was like, yeah, fuck it. I'll do it for sure.
Wow, you seem to have a knak for finding people who are about to just quit their positions.
No. Basically, if you see me and you like the job, cross the road. Yeah. So I'll probably take it. Not even take it. You'll just give it to me.
Yeah.
Just surrender it.
What was this PhD going to be in? That
So I don't know if you remember, there was a bit of a joke degree called surf science. And that was the friend of mine was the guy that made the course.
Yeah.
And to be legit, you have to have a few things. You obviously got to have your regular kind of graduates, but you got to have a post-grad course as well.
Uh-huh.
And so I wasn't exactly sure. I was going to do it in something like, I hadn't thought about it much, but something like the Blue Mind stuff that's going around now.
Yeah.
That side of it was something that I was kind of interested in. But to be honest, was I ever really going to do that? I don't know. I just said I'll go in. I went in to have the meeting, but I don't know if I would have been very good at academia.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
So now tell me about some of the Scene stuff you wrote.
Right, sorry. So I got
about?
the job at Scene Mag. I kind of knew the guys a little bit as well. It was part-time. I think I got paid $7,000 a year.
Nice.
So it wasn't a lot of money.
Congrats.
And it was one of those little A5 things, but it was really big. They gave it outside like all the venues, like clubs, bars in the whole of the Southwest, so anywhere from Bristol all the way down to like Penzance. It was quite a big area. So they printed like 100,000 mags a month. It was big. And it was like super eclectic. It had everything in from like, it was mainly run by like club promoters and gigs.
Okay.
And the scene's quite good in the UK because the cities are really close together. So like, that's why the music scene, part of the reason why the music scene's so thriving is that you can quite a major act come to London, but then they might as well do Monday night in Bristol, Tuesday night in Exeter, Plymouth, even Newquay now. It's easy for them to do that. They can make quite a lot of money.
Yeah.
So there's quite a good scene in the little kind of shit towns. And so there's always stuff going on. So there's a bit of money kicking about and festivals and all that stuff. And that's who kind of paid for the magazine.
Okay.
And yeah, I just literally write about anything. I didn't know anything really particularly about music or anything else. But a lot of people work for free in that mag.
Yeah.
And like, they're the easiest people to work with, like much easier than people that you pay. They're like so into it. And like people would go out and review, like they go to the Theatre Royal in Plymouth and review like a ballet, and they would send their thing in like 8 a.m. the next day, really well written. Like,
damn.
Yeah, people, it's weird, but people do stuff free are actually like into it. And whenever you start trying to pay people, that's when it gets
messy.
tough. So yeah, we didn't really pay contributors. We used to give them free music because you'd get sent a lot of review music. So we just had a lot of music that was still on, vinyl then, and give it out to people. And yeah, I used to go to a lot of nights, DJ, stroke bands, like all sorts of stuff. Yeah, okay. Like all the time, kind of 7 nights a week.
There you go.
Yeah. And it was fun. Yeah, I was like reasonably good at it. And yeah, that's how I got started in that media world.
Okay. And then when you got the job at Surf Europe, was your first move to create the Ideas Factory?
Yeah, the factory came in. Yeah, did I tell you about that or someone else?
You've mentioned the factory before. I want to hear about how the factory was. I mean, that was a visionary move on your part, I feel.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess there was in the time before I started, without getting into too much detail, the guy at Space who answered the phone took over the one office that was like closed off. It was like 4 desks and there was one little bit with a window and a door, and he put himself in there. And then when I came in, I was sort of technically like, I wasn't in charge, but I was kind of like, the editor. So I was like, no, I'm not going to go and sit in there and make people like come in and, I'll sit with the scum. No, I'll sit with everyone else, and we'll just keep that room as a room for ideas or smoking weed, and that's what we did. So yeah, we basically smoked quite a lot of weed in there for.
That was the Ideas Factory, was the single room.
A lot of years. Yeah, and we did it. We started doing a little when Cote was doing Cote's Cube. I just copied that.
Okay,
might have been before I even did the first broadcast, but anyway, and I did. I would do one take on a little video camera, like one of these.
Yeah.
Maybe had a tripod, but I'd interview people. And I think I did the first one I did was Ace Buckingham Bots. I did Ace and Bots, and they were staying like the same place as me in Hosker, so I knew them.
Yeah.
And I did a little like thing like this basically with them quite a long time ago. That was in the Ideas Factory as well.
Okay. So the room got a lot of use.
Yeah, it was. It got heavily used, and it probably still smells.
And it was just in the center of.
It's in Mignon, close to the airport in Biarritz, right by the airport. So when people used to come from London, which wasn't often, but every now and then the boss would come, nightmare, and we could see their plane come over.
So to try to clean up or something, or would you?
I wouldn't try. Well, we wouldn't have blazed probably that day. We're not animals, but we're not that stupid. Yeah.
Well, who was the boss? Was it owned by like a thing that owned a bunch of publications?
Yeah. They used to have a really good skate mag called Kingpin.
Yeah.
They had Onboard, the snow mag. They had a couple of skate mags actually, and then they were quite big. But they started off with us and 2 other mags, and then they ended up with about 15 before it all came.
And then it all just
crashing down,
tumbled, huh?
Yeah.
Were you still there when it tumbled?
I was there when people were running down the street. They'd moved out there. They were in quite a nice, expensive part of London, but one of the last people that bought it, we moved to Clapham, so just slightly out of like the very expensive media bit. I was there when people were running down the street holding like snowboards or like carbon bike frames and fucking sprinting down the road. Yeah. Everyone got locked out their emails. It was pretty gnarly.
Really? You happened to be in London at that moment?
Yeah, I didn't know what was going on, and I was wet as well because I was filming something. And someone threw water on me. I can't remember what it was. Some product thing that we were still doing, and we kind of didn't know about what the apocalypse. And so I arranged to do this thing in the morning before the meeting. And so when they actually like told me you're out, you've been locked out of your email, give your computer back and get out, I was like dripping wet, just quite weird.
Who told you?
One of some accountant sort of standover person from a company that doesn't exist, that wasn't
person.
Yeah, I don't know.
Packing up,
basically. Yeah, and then we went to the pub.
Okay.
Yeah,
as you would.
Yeah.
What were some highlights from that gig?
I mean, the whole thing was fun the whole time. I would say it wasn't. Yeah, it was. I did quite a lot of good traveling. So as soon as I got the job, one of the boss came over from London. This was like November, maybe. Yeah. Came over from London, and with first meeting on the first day, it's like, have you you booked your Hawaii trip yet, Paul? I said, I haven't booked it, but I'll get on that today. Yeah. So I booked my trip to the North Shore straight away. I'd been there before, but I hadn't been for a little while. So that was cool. And then I did traveling to a bunch of cool places. I went on some quite nice boats.
Yeah, didn't you get on the Nike gravy train for a minute?
Did a little bit of the Nike stuff. I went on the Haumana, that massive boat in Tahiti. I went to Tuamotus in that with O'Neill. Yeah, basically it was the peak moment when everything was going quite well. And so I did a lot of really cool travels. I went to the Marshall Islands on the Trader One.
Really?
Yeah, with Curran again and Stephanie Gilmore. That was pretty sick.
Guy, I guess.
They called me. I think it was a Sunday night. It was kind of midwinter and Hostel got a bit grim. And the guy from Ripcar was like, called me and went, do you want to go to the Marshall Islands on Tuesday with Tom Curran and Stephanie Gilmore?
Wow.
I said,
yes.
That sounds fine. Yeah. So yeah, some good traveling and just kind of good. It's quite anything where you'll know yourself, where you're kind of commissioning people and giving out money to people that are like what they do. That's quite cool. Spread the love around and,
Yeah.
You meet people that are really talented. A few pain in the ass type people as well, but you get that. There wasn't really a downside, to be perfectly honest. And everyone that worked in London was kind of a shit gig because you got the boss just looming over you. But we just did whatever we wanted every day. We were just,
because you're on your own.
We were just there on our own, and the money was already signed before the year. The deal's already done. So basically, they just all we had to do is just kind of hit our deadlines. That's it.
Really?
We didn't have
was
to
it every month?
Yeah, it was monthly for like 8 months a year at its peak. Yes, it's like the first deadline was in January and then every month until October or something.
Okay.
September.
Nice.
And then I would still get paid every month from September through to January and didn't have anything to do apart from getting content for next year. So yeah, it was pretty sick.
Wow.
I'm not going to lie. Yeah.
Doesn't sound bad.
No, it was good. Yeah, it was really good. Yeah. Sometimes when I think about the bar and like what I would do again, or not what I would do again, but sometimes, I sort of had these like fantasies. I think like the food side, I didn't quite get right. I wasn't as interested in it as I should have been. I think I could have made some like really delicious stuff.
Okay. When
I think about the Surf Europe time, what I would have done, like I just did exactly the same. Yeah.
Wow.
It was pretty good.
What was, what stands out as like the best trip, whether it's like, wave wise or just like personality wise, like what was a highlight from that era? Just like a trip that you're like, holy shit, that was just the funnest time I've had in my life.
Yeah. There was one trip to Scotland that we did. Yeah, that was pretty loose. Who
was on that?
It was when the QS was there.
Okay.
But like when there was money in surfing, the brand O'Neill did the QS event, but they would fly in their free surfers and get media to come in, and you wouldn't report on the QS event, but you would do stuff around the event.
Yeah.
That was pretty good.
What made that one special?
It's just a fun place. And we used to go up there when I was young. We would go drive all the way from the southwest, a long way. Like I don't know if you know what a Fiesta is. It's a tiny little shit car. My friend had the smallest car you can get, basically, like smaller than a Polo. And it's a long way and freezing cold and horrible. And we're like sleeping in this car, 3 of us with wetsuits and just kind of roughing it, like eating from the supermarket. And then I went back and staying in the Royal Hotel as an open fire in your room. It's pretty nice. So that was good. And then probably the Marshall Islands was pretty special. We're literally in the middle of nowhere. There's one flight a week from Hawaii. You have to go to Hawaii. It's one plane a week on the Trader. That was sort of like pinch yourself kind of stuff. Because obviously the Ments is good, but it's whatever. It's full of people and anyone.
Yeah.
If you got whatever, $6,000, anyone can do that. But to go to the Marshalls, actually now you can actually go there. But then that was sort of then that, was you couldn't really do that. Money couldn't buy that trip kind of thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, probably that one. There's some others I've probably forgotten, but yeah, they were good. Oops.
That happens.
Yeah.
Still on though.
Okay.
What about does a trip stick out as the loosest?
Yeah, I'm not. I don't know. Not really. No. I thought we were always reasonably good at kind of when you work for a surf mag. You basically you hanging with photographers a lot. Essentially, that's who you're hanging out with.
Yeah,
it's photographers, and there's 2 of them that worked there at the time with me, and both were like pretty like good at, having fun and whatever, but like they're all quite professional, hardworking in different ways. So that the thing always sort of had it wasn't just like
chaos.
people going mad. Exactly. Yeah.
Who were the floppers?
So Alex Laurel, who's now like, he's here on the 100-foot wave thing at Nazare.
Yeah.
He's cinematographer. And Timo is the other guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. So different sort of personalities.
Definitely.
Yeah. But that was fun. And I got on well with both of them. You just kind of manage those relationships and do the best work and whatever. Don't do the best work, just do average stuff. Don't get fired.
Yeah.
It's also quite hard to get fired in France. I had a French contract after a couple of years, so that was sick.
Really?
So I knew they
You
couldn't
negotiated that too.
So I didn't negotiate. They put it on me. They
Really?
kind of thrust it on me. At the beginning, I was resistant. Then I realized they can't fire you. Even if you like punch someone in the face at work, they literally can't fire you. Or if they do, they have to give you a massive payout.
Hey, you just say you're stressed out and go on stress leave.
So that was pretty sick. So yeah, no, it was great. It was really good.
Nice.
Yeah. And yeah, I don't know if jobs like that really exist anymore. Now it's just still like podcasts in the slap shop. Not that that's bad, of course. It's great.
It's great.
It's brilliant. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, well, that sounded fun.
Yeah.
What about those early days in France? Like what inspired that move? You had a cafe going. It sounded like you had a full life.
Yeah.
In the
Okay.
UK.
Yeah.
Why did you decide
We had the bar
to just-
going. It was a bit grim. We were like doing really well, drinking a bit, and we only had a pub license in our bar till 11, which is our saving grace. So we would finish, clear up, have a cheeky spliff and a bit, and then go up the road to our friend's bar that was open till 2.
Yeah.
And he ended up kind of destroyed because he just drank a lot, and they're there till 5 a.m. every day. And we were kind of like getting up and going surfing.
Yeah.
We were relatively healthy, but even still working in a bar, it's just a bit, we were there all the time, and it's just, it took its toll a bit. The city got a bit grey. We had a lot of time. We surfed every day. We did what we wanted, but it just got a bit like, it was fun for a bit. We did it for 3 years.
Yeah.
And then sold the rest of the lease. And then we used to go to France a lot. Like, it was an easy trip to do. People used to go down for the whole summer with like 200 quid. Like no money, live in a car, eat baguettes, surf your brains out, or not, just bronze, whatever. Just that was an easy sort of pathway. There's a boat from Plymouth to Roscoff, and you just drive down the west coast to France. So I knew the place, and then I think I went down for the Quick Cut, which is a surf, skate, snow event.
Yeah.
And my mate worked for Vans, and Vans were sponsoring it as well. And I met a few of the crew that lived in Biarritz that all worked for brands and had like this kind of what I thought was quite amazing lifestyle. I remember we were like, this one guy lives there on you'll know this building, but like at the Côte de Basque, there's that residence opposite the hotel.
Yeah.
I don't know the name of it, but this American guy, really super nice dude. He was working for one of the brands, and we were at his place in an evening. It was March, it's still winter at home. Like March is like, you're in the middle of it, and it's going to go for some while yet.
Yeah.
And it was sunny. We surfed, I think we surfed Les Alcyons or something that day. It's just nice and warm, and like we were having a glass of wine, and I was like, because I always thought France was kind of shit in winter, which is true to a certain extent. Before that, I was just like, you don't want to go there.
Yeah.
Sand blowing up the street, and sometimes there is. But then I realized this would be a good place to live. That's why I got the seed of the idea, and I just fancied doing it. Yeah, we sold the bar, and my friend moved to America that I had the bar with, and I had a Volvo station wagon, put everything I owned in the world in it, and just got the boat down there. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And made up a job in surf journalism, and next thing you know, you're living at Robbie Page's house.
Yeah, basically. Yep.
Nice. That sounded like an interesting era.
Yeah. So if you don't like the way your life's going, just lie.
Just lie and go near somebody who's about to quit.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. So, but no, that stage in France, it's like everyone romanticizes the olden days, don't they? About how good it was back then. And like, it was to a certain extent. It's also pretty shit in the wintertime. It was quite crap. And it was a bit of a shock because I was used to like having quite a lot to do in the evenings at home. There's a lot going on. It was the worst scene, like music. There's one bar, it was fucking awful, and just it was kind of quite cheesy and pretty shit. So that was a little bit of a challenge. That first year or two in the winter, I'd sometimes think about leaving. Yeah, because leaving as in moving away, because it was it's like it's not a. There's other parts of France with a bit more going on, but that bit of Les Landes in particular it's not like culturally. There's not loads apart from the surf side of it, really. Yeah, it's like that in some ways is a bit shit. It's better now in a lot of ways. There's a lot more going on year round, but obviously it's not really a surf spot anymore because it's kind of crowded.
Yeah.
It's quite hard to go surfing now, but there's a lot more to do. And if you want to get a poke bowl or some stance socks or whatever it is,
Moskova,
you can get anything you like. Pick up some Moskova undercrackers. Yeah, you're in. Do some jiu-jitsu, all of that's there. Yeah, it's a nice place to live. I love it.
Yeah. Nice. What about I've seen in your writing you talk about those days where it really was like a more of an epicenter for pro surfers.
Yeah.
Now, like we said, they don't have a CT event there anymore. Yeah. There's not even a challenger.
Yeah.
But back then there was a lot of guys around that were just from other parts of the world. They were just living there.
Yeah. No one moves there anymore. I mean, like, no one's going to quit the tour. Like Ethan Ewing is not going to quit the tour and move to like Sedios. Do you know what I mean? It's just like unthinkable. Wild. Whereas back then that wasn't that weird. Like, you know, like that was a place, that was a thing to do.
Yeah.
I'd say maybe Portugal's to like a lesser extent, but people are more likely to move over here, I think, for a variety of reasons if they're going to go Euro. But, yeah, there was a little bit of that, and yeah, there was a cool few little scenes going with different stuff going on, and it was all, yeah. I mean, I don't want to sound like that guy. Oh, this is before no one had phones, but no one had phones or anything. No one had a fucking video camera in their pocket, so yeah, you could basically do whatever you want as long as the cops weren't actually watching you standing in the same room. Or on certain occasions, even if they were, it really didn't matter.
Yeah.
I remember that first 2003, it was the Rugby World Cup final. It's England versus Australia. Mm-hmm. And it's right after I first moved there, I think. I hadn't been there very long. I knew a couple of people, but not many. And a lot of the Australian crew that worked in the surf industry were there. And then there was loads of Brits, and there was a Welsh guy's house, Carwyn's, quite well known, quite a loose cannon. And there was a few, all sorts going on. And the cops were actually there, just like their friends, just sort of like
in their uniforms.
No, just socializing, just like hanging out. And it's when I first got the gist of like, oh, okay, so it's like quite small town type vibes. Or, you know, when you get to Ireland and they do a lock-in at the pub, and the policeman like does doing his rounds, comes in and like special knock and blah blah. It's like real kind of small town thing. The UK back then was a lot more sort of buttoned down and quite hard to get away with too much. Not that I'm advocating breaking the law, but it's easy to do that in France. It's encouraged in some ways.
Yeah, that place is brings out some interesting behavior in people, I'd say.
Yeah.
Still in this day and age, with stuff like the Quicksilver Festival, you see people behave a certain way there. Yeah,
people come down, like the bods from London would come down and would have a dinner and a beer, and they'd smoke a cig and go, oh, I'm only smoking because I'm in France. Like, amazing how many people would say that. There's like a thing where everyone thought they're supposed to do this. I don't know why, just do kind of looser shit.
Yeah.
When they were down there, and that just sort of was probably true about everyone on every level.
Yeah.
The drink driving thing sort of sets the tone for the night. So like, it'd be inconceivable to like drink drive at home in the UK. There's like quite a lot of social stigma around. If you're all out and you were kind of hammered and you're like, I'm driving, you'd be like, what are you doing? You know, it's kind of like it's not cool. Whereas in hospital, it's essential. I mean, like you it's mandatory. It's not like, it's not. Yeah. So I mean, it's still illegal and you shouldn't do it, but that was kind of like, it's the only way of getting around.
Yeah.
So that, I guess, if that sort of sets the tone that you're basically in the middle of a forest, it goes for a long way, and you can just have a bit of fun, and there are fewer rules. Yeah.
It definitely feels that way.
Yeah.
Fewer rules.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I heard that you have some interesting ideas around hobbies that complement surfing quite well.
Yeah.
Do you know where I'm going with this?
Are you talking about birding?
I am talking about birding.
I did some today, actually.
Did you? What did you see?
Yeah. I heard, which counts as seeing Dartford warblers on the dunes at Superdubos.
Okay.
I saw the first swallows of the year, actually, the last few days, not today. So I've seen the first ones of the year.
Okay.
And I saw black redstarts. Yeah, a few cool birds. A couple of other unidentified. I'm not amazing at identifying everything.
Okay.
And then you've also got your marine bird, your seabird, some of your pelagic birds as well, because we had a big storm. So a lot of the birds that normally live quite far out to sea, they come on the beach.
Wow.
Yeah.
What's the coolest bird you've ever seen?
I don't know if it's the coolest bird I've ever seen, but I saw an osprey above the Marais d'Aux in near Hossegor. There's this big marshy wetland thing. I saw an osprey dive and catch a fish. That was pretty cool. I was with my kid.
Yeah.
That was pretty amazing. I mean, they were extinct for quite a long time in the UK. They've been reintroduced now, but they were extinct for a long time. Seeing an osprey was like pretty rad. I've seen them quite a lot since then, but I remember that was pretty cool. Yeah, I don't know if I haven't really got a best. I think I just like the sort of surprise element of just a bit of unintentional birding.
Yeah.
You just do it someone you weren't really expecting it. Like I didn't go birding today, but I did some birding while I was on a walk.
Yeah.
I'm more into that side of it than specifically going for a bird experience. I just like turning into it. But if you sit down anywhere and kind of keep still for about 20 minutes, most nature that's left, we don't really have any mammals left in Europe, but that wouldn't work for them. But most other things like birds, they sort of forget you're there. So they'll just, you just melt into the landscape, which is cool. I like doing that.
That's your case for birding is surfing. You end up doing a lot of sitting.
Yeah, basically it's similar. Yeah, very similar. It's not just me. There's a few, Brendan Margis and Margot, he's got a pretty sick Instagram account. It's all about birding.
Okay.
Yeah. He's really into birding.
Yeah.
And they got a lot of good birds in Australia. There's a few surf birders around, but yeah.
Okay. Do you want to end by giving our audience some advice if they want to start their birding journey?
Yeah, I would advise to start the birding journey. Get into it. I mean, birds are all around us. They're beautiful creatures.
Mm-hmm.
The dawn chorus. I mean, it's springtime here. So, I mean, that's one of the best sounds, wake up early in the dark and open the windows and get that. Or even like today when it stops raining and the birds start singing a bit. That's pretty cool. So yeah, just enjoy on your local patch. I'm not a lister. I'm not trying to see like loads of exotic ones, but just the ones that are around you every day. And then you start to build up a little bit of a pattern, and then you start to expect to see them. And then you think this is going to happen and it does. And you feel like you're some sort of shaman, or you got some 3D mind map of the cosmos, which is always a nice way to start the day.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
All right. I think we end just there. Go birding. Thank you, Paul.
Was it you? Was it something you said? Yeah.